Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another session, our first thematic webinar in 2022. And I'm really excited to be here with a fantastic panel again. I'm going to give everybody a couple of minutes to quickly come in and settle down. I'm sure you've had a long day, back to the grind after hopefully a good break for everybody. And I'm sure you've had a long day in your school, college, and but however, I want you to treat the session in a relaxed way. Enjoy the session, enjoy the panelists and the fantastic presentations you're going to see. And, this is an excellent opportunity for you to ask the questions that you've always wanted to know about the UK to the experts. We've got representatives from three renowned UK universities here, and you can ask them directly what you want to. So please, take this opportunity to do so. A very happy new year to everyone. I hope you have a fantastic, safe, normal 2022, not the new normal, but the old normal 2022. And without further ado, let me get into the session. Today's session is on career opportunities in humanities and social sciences. And I think long gone are the days when we used to say, definitely it used to happen in India, where we would hear quite often that, why do you want to study humanities? You should study science because that's where the jobs are, that's where the money is. And I think that's definitely changed. I think everybody is aware of the opportunities that humanities and social sciences now bring, and I'm assuming everybody here believes in that, which is why you are here and you are looking at careers in these fields, and the panel here is going to help you kind of unfold that and explore that. Let me quickly introduce to our panel today from University of Strathclyde. We have Stuart Kubra and Nicola Sutherland. Stuart is Student Recruitment Manager and Nicola is Senior Careers Consultant. Welcome to both of you. We have Dane Wallace from Nottingham University Business School. Dane is International Relations Manager. I think Dane is having some trouble joining in, so they should be here in a second. We also have SOAS, University of London. We have Dr. Michael Jennings, who is Reader in International Development at SOAS, and we have Amy Mitchell-Bell, who's International Recruitment Manager for South Asia and Southeast Asia. So very, very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Some very quick housekeeping rules. On your screen, you're going to see a little speech bubble with a question mark on it. That's your Q&A box. Put in your questions there and we will come to you. So the idea is that you go through, we're going to take you through a few presentations, but we're going to take quick breaks in the middle to take your questions and explore any kind of theme that you want us to around funding, scholarships, career opportunities, etc. We already have some questions and the panel is going to try to answer some of them in the Q&A box itself, but we will take a break to kind of talk about some of these themes. So do put in those questions as we go along whenever you want to. Okay, so without further ado, if I may invite Stuart and Nicola for University of Strathclyde to present on humanities and social sciences in your university.
Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone can see the slides and hear me. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the career opportunities in humanities and social sciences, giving you a little bit of a description of what is available at the University of Strathclyde and what our graduates go on to do. And I'm joined by my colleague Nicola, who will talk about the fantastic career services provision that we've got at the university and other services for our international students. So firstly, some information about the University of Strathclyde. Strathclyde is a leading international technological university based in Glasgow, Scotland's largest city, and we have a long history, so we can trace our history back to 1796 when the University of Strathclyde was founded as the place of useful learning, and that still underpins everything that we do today. We're a medium-sized university. We have around about 23,000 students from over 100 different countries around the world. And I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about some of the accolades and rankings that we have that we are very proud of. So we have been awarded, the Times UK University of the Year twice. So first in 2012 and more recently in 2019. And we were also awarded Scottish University of the Year in 2020. We have very high rankings. We have been climbing up the rankings over the last couple of years, and we're very pleased to say that we are currently 18th in the UK for the Guardian University Guide and 17th for the Sunday Times Good University Guide. We have very high student satisfaction at Strathclyde. Talking a little bit about where we're based. So Strathclyde is a campus university, so everything is based on campus. So we have our teaching and learning facilities, we have student accommodation, fantastic sport facilities, a brand new teaching and learning space, and also a library. And our campus is based right in the city centre. So you're always very close to everything that you need. One downside is we do have a rather steep hill on campus, so that does keep you nice and fit. So Glasgow is Scotland's largest and most cosmopolitan city. It's based in the central belt of Scotland. One of the great benefits is that we are close to Edinburgh, which is our capital city. It's around about an hour away, and you are not far to our wonderful countryside, which is very accessible. For example, Loch Lomond, you can be in around about 30 minutes. Glasgow itself has around about 1.5 million people in the metropolitan area. We have world-class shopping and nightlife. We host, in normal times, a wide range of different music and cinema festivals throughout the year. And Glasgow is a very friendly city, and we're very proud to have the accolade of being awarded the world's friendliest city by the Rough Guide readers. We're a UNESCO City of Music, and we have recently hosted both the Commonwealth Games and the European Championships, and there is a big legacy from both of those games. Glasgow is a green city. There is lots of parks, both close by to the university and around the city. So you're always very close to nature. Now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about humanities and social sciences. Strathclyde has 4 faculties. The Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences that I work in is the largest faculty in the university and offers a wide range of different subject areas. So at Strathclyde, we are home to the largest and leading school of education in Scotland and one of the best in the UK. And we are the home of teacher education in Scotland. So we had the first teacher training college and one of the first in the UK. We offer courses at undergraduate level in primary education in early years, and at postgraduate we offer teacher education courses for primary and secondary, and we have a range of masters. So we have a master's in education studies, TESOL, autism and applied education and social research. Our School of Government and Public Policy is highly ranked, and we offer courses in politics, international relations, public policy, and some new innovative courses in things like data science for policymakers and urban policy. Our School of Humanities covers a wide range of different areas, ranging from creative writing, English, journalism, media and communication, modern languages, gender studies and translation. We are also home to one of the top law schools in Scotland, and our law school hosts our multi-award winning law school, law clinic. So our law clinic is run by our students, and it provides free impartial advice to those in the community who would not normally be able to afford legal provision. We offer a range of masters ranging from things like construction law through to mediation, commercial law and global environmental law and governance. We teach Scots law in our school, but we also do have provision of English and common law, which is popular for our international students. Our School of Psychological Sciences and Health specialises in psychology, counselling, speech and language and sport. And finally, our School of Social Work and Social Policy is highly ranked and has provision for both social work, which is mainly focusing on provision for Scotland, and also social policy and international social welfare. Some key facts around about our postgraduate provision. So we have a lot of different postgraduate courses. We have 72 in total. Quite a few of these are professionally accredited programmes, and we're very proud to have some really good subject rankings in the Complete University Guide and the Times Good University Guide. Our courses are taught by leading experts in their fields, and we have strong links to both industry and the professions. And we do have a number of courses where you have opportunities to undertake work placements or project-based work with partners. This is just highlighting some of our subject rankings that we are extremely proud of. So we have some really good strengths in areas like communication and media studies, social policy, education law, and sports science. Tuition fees and scholarships. So as I've mentioned before, the university has some really strong rankings and accolades, and we have some really strong subject rankings in the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences. Our fees in comparison to our positioning are actually quite competitive. So our fees range from around about 15,000 through to 18,750. If you want detailed information of our fees, it's always good to check on our website, and each course page will detail the different fees. As a faculty, we have a very ambitious and generous scholarship portfolio, which has been in place for a number of years. Our scholarships for September 2022 will shortly be approved, hopefully in the next week or two. So if anybody's got any specific questions, please get in touch with me. But it looks as if we will be continuing to offer our undergraduate international students an automatic scholarship of £3,500 for each year of study, which is very generous. Postgraduate students will have an opportunity of a 15% discount or the opportunity to apply for an advanced scholarship of up to £4,000. And this year we have some scholarships, full scholarships in partnership with the British Council for scholarships for women in STEM, and that is applicable to our clinical health psychology programme. So it's always good to look at the skills that are developed on our humanities and social sciences courses. The British Academy has an excellent report which looks at the skills that are developed by our graduates in arts, humanities and social sciences. And they focus on some key skills that are highly valued by employers. So looking at things like communication and collaboration, our graduates develop over the course of their studies excellent interpersonal and both written and verbal communication skills. There are lots of opportunity to work with others from a diverse range of backgrounds. They develop outstanding research and analysis skills, which aids decision making. And they're also developing some of the attitudes and behaviours, things like independence, problem solving and creativity. So graduate careers. We produce graduates who make an impact in the world, developing transferable skills for today's workforce. Our graduates can be found in a wide range of sectors and across both the private, public and third sector. So our graduates go on to fields like financial services, their NHS, both local and central government, the legal profession, civil service, journalism, museums and heritage, and the charity sector. A lot of jobs, graduate jobs in the UK are not looking for specific subject knowledge, and as I've described here, our graduates have a lot of the transferable skills needed to apply for these jobs. We have a number of Indian alumni in our network who are normally happy to speak to prospective students. So all of the students that all of the alumni that we have here are active on LinkedIn and are normally happy to speak to prospective students. So if any of you want to get in touch with any of our alumni here, they're more than happy to speak to you. So we have a number of our law alumni who have gone back to India and have developed excellent careers specialising in mediation, which is a growing area of interest in the legal profession, both in India and around the world. We have an alumni who's also trying to use mediation at the Supreme Court of India, and we have a wide range of alumni from psychology who are normally happy to help. I'm now going to pass over to my colleague, Nicola.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us this evening for the session. My name's Nick and I'm one of the Senior Careers and Employability Consultants at the University of Strathclyde. And I've worked at Strathclyde now for 9 years and I support students and graduates within the faculty of HAS. I really want to highlight some resources that will be of use to you when you join us, if you join us at Strathclyde, and how we can support you during your time there. But also to say that if you do decide to join us at Strathclyde, we have some useful pre-arrival module that you could undertake to kind of get you to think about your degree, career options and career ideas as well. So we can kind of support you from the start of your journey. And also to say at Strathclyde, we support our graduates for up to 5 years after graduation as well. So lots of time to support you again with your chosen career path that you want to go down. We have a My Career Hub vacancy portal where we advertise vacancies from graduate employers, we advertise opportunities, placements, internships, summer opportunities, a whole range of options are advertised there. We work with our Strath Union, our Students Association, who advertise part-time jobs in and around the city and around campus as well. The Career Service, we organise a number of events throughout the year. We organise career fairs and employer engagement events where you can meet up with employers and talk about options with their organisation. We support you through any recruitment process that you might find yourself in, and regularly run workshops on areas like applications, interviews, CVs, cover letters, psychometric testing. We also have a dedicated CV and application checking service within the Career Service as well. And part of my role as a careers consultant is to offer that one-to-one bespoke careers guidance as well. So I will pop some links into the chat to allow you to see an overview of the Career Service and some of the resources we have that you can tap into now. Stuart, can you just pop onto the next slide and I'll quickly talk about overall student support at Strathclyde. So just very, very quickly, there's lots of support for you at Strathclyde when you join us here. The Strath Life pages, I'll pop in a link in the chat, gives you an overview of things that you need to think about before you join us at Strathclyde, when you're arriving, and also your first sort of few days or few months on campus. At Strathclyde, we have an academic studies support centre. We have lots of support through our accommodation services. Obviously, we've got the Career Service. We have a dedicated disability and wellbeing service for our students, faith, spirituality support. We have a team that provide financial advice. We've got a dedicated international student support team. We have our fantastic Strathclyde Sport Centre and also our fantastic Strathclyde Students' Union as well, where there's a whole range of support and networks and communities for you to build into as well. And finally, to say, alongside the Career Service, Alumni Relations offer a service to our graduates and can connect you with different alumni groups globally to support you on your career path after Strathclyde as well. So that's it from me. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Strathclyde. That was really useful. I think everyone, there's been lots of questions coming in and most of them are being answered in the chat, which is fantastic. I won't come to the kind of the more, philosophical questions around why one should do humanities and social sciences. I'm hoping that's going to be covered in the presentations that we're going to go through. There are a couple of things I did want to take to the whole panel, so if everybody wants to just come back on video. Hi, Dean, welcome. It's good to see you. Great. Okay, so there was one question a bit earlier on around, well, it said for class 10, if somebody wants to kind of get a feeling of what it would be like to study humanities or social sciences in one of your institutions, are there any online opportunities, MOOCs, or any kind of opportunity for them to gauge that, what it would be like for them to study without having to go there right now? If anybody wants to come in. Yes, Nicola. Oh, sorry. I thought you were coming in.
I guess I'm not too sure what class 10 is, so I'm not sure if I'm perhaps the best person for this question. Stuart, I wonder, might you be able to help with this, or perhaps one of the other speakers?
Yeah, so we do run virtual open days, and we do have 3 over the course of the year, and at the moment we are currently planning our applicant event, so that's for offer holders, where we are hoping to include some experiential taster sessions for some of our key subjects within humanities and social sciences. So I'd advise them to attend one of the virtual open days. There's usually subject-specific presentations, and I do know that we're obviously trying to develop some more interactive taster sessions for some of our key humanities subjects, and I do know quite a lot of our other universities are also offering, so that would probably be a good thing to do.
Thank you.
Yes. I'm Mike Jennings from SOAS. Like most universities, we also have the online open days, and we also have quite a lot of taster lectures, which are accessible, so you can get a sense of those. Another thing you can do, and I suspect this will be true for all of the universities here today and for all the other UK universities, if you actually want to speak to a current student to get their experience and talk to them about what it's like to study at that institution, we can certainly arrange that. I'm sure the other universities can as well. So the best thing to do there is to get in touch with at our university, the international student team. It should be easy for other institutions to work out who that is too, and they'll put you in touch with someone, and they can give you their unvarnished student experience of an institution. And I'd really recommend you do that for any institution that you're applying to. It can be really useful.
Excellent point, Michael. Thank you. Dane, do you want to add anything to that for Nottingham?
Yeah, just likewise similar to the other universities, we are running kind of a suite of taster sessions, depending on the course you're interested in. And also we have a huge group of current student ambassadors, which you can filter by course or also by nationality. So we have quite a few Indian student ambassadors on there who'd be very keen to talk to you about their experiences of studying, particularly in the business school, as we have the largest cohort of students at the university. So yeah, MOOCs are sometimes a good idea. I can't think of any that we offer in social sciences off the top of my head from us, but there are many British universities who do offer such courses to give you a little bit of an idea of what it's like to study here as well. Yeah.
Thank you, Dane. There are some very specific questions coming into the chat. Sorry, did anyone want to come in? Did I interrupt? Okay, so there are some very specific questions coming on very specific subjects. So just maybe for the universities, just by a quick show of hands, international relations and political geography, are there universities who offer that or similar? Okay, there are some nods around, thank you. There's also journalism and media studies, I think, more nods, so the students hopefully know where to kind of direct your questions. There are also questions around, hold on. There are some very specific questions around career opportunities after studying a certain subject. So I think these are really specific. I'm going to let the universities answer some of them in the chat box. There are questions around career service available. Strathclyde has just covered that. I'm sure SOAS and Nottingham will as well. So if you want to just hold on and see those presentations, I think that will be really useful. I want to address two quick things in the chat box before handing over to Nottingham School of Business. Number one is there's a question around why is the STEM scholarship only applicable for women? The Women in STEM scholarship has just been launched for women across South Asia, including India. I mean, that's not in the scope of this webinar, but I wanted to quickly address it, that the reason this is only for women is that we have seen historically there is a big gap between the number of women who study STEM or who are able to pursue careers in STEM compared to women. And this is to kind of address that gender gap and to bring about a gender balance in a very critical field for India, and to give women that advantage of kind of bridging that gap that they see in across gender in STEM studies in India and abroad. However, there are plenty of other scholarships for men to also apply to. There are the great scholarships. There's going to be more scholarships being launched for English teachers. There is obviously there's the Commonwealth, there's Chevening, so plenty of opportunities for everyone there. I just also wanted to quickly give a shout out to our e-guide. We have an e-guide on humanities and social sciences that's available on our website. It's in the chat box, so have a look at that. Okay, without further ado, I'm going to call Dane to present for Nottingham School of Business.
Thank you very much. I'll just share my presentation with you. 2 seconds. Brilliant. So yeah, hopefully you can see this.
Yeah, we can see that.
Fantastic. So yeah, good afternoon everyone. My name is Dane, International Relations Manager for Nottingham University Business School. So not going to broadly talk about social sciences, but more specifically, obviously, the business school and the in particular the master's courses that we have to offer, as well as the kind of career opportunities and scholarship opportunities that we have here at Nottingham. So I'll just move on to the next slide. Okay, so first question I always get asked is, where is Nottingham? So we're about 100 miles north of London, right in the heart of England, in an area called the East Midlands, very close to some really beautiful kind of parkland, including the Peak District and the legendary Sherwood Forest as well. Really easy to get to from the other big cities in the UK in terms of travelling here from overseas, and only about an hour away from Birmingham, which is our nearest international airport. We do actually have one of the largest student populations outside of London. There are 2 universities in our city, so we're actually in the UK quite a well-known university city. I myself not originally from Nottingham, and I've been in the city for about 15 years now, so stayed in the city after graduating, and really do love living here, particularly with the kind of things the city has to offer. So a little bit more about us. So we are part of the prestigious Russell Group of universities, which you've probably heard about here in the UK. That's a group of research-intensive universities. We talk a lot about our research because it's actually our researchers who teach you. So quite often what you learn is actually at the forefront of the subject that you're learning about, the kind of real cutting edge. We're in the UK top 20 in kind of the three of the major rankings there. We're the first university to establish an enterprise zone. This is where we work very closely with local businesses, particularly SMEs. We also have the highest standard in teaching, so the rating of gold in the Teaching Excellence Framework. As a subject here in the business school, we have double accreditation, just about to complete our triple or third accreditation with the AACSB, so we should have the so-called triple crown by next year. We're in the UK top 20 for the 2 major subject areas of accounting and finance and business management and QS, the latest QS. And we're also ranked number 6 in the UK for research power. And as I mentioned, we talk a lot about this because it's our researching professors who teach you, so some quite good credentials there. A little bit about our philosophy. So we look to develop our students in 3 key areas. So of course, academically, you're coming here to learn things, new things, and develop your kind of critical thinking skills. But of course, professionally as well. I mean, one of the top reasons we take degrees is to kind of get a job, or get a good job, or a different type of job. So yeah, our philosophy is to make you as employable as possible by the time you leave us. And I'll talk a little bit more about our career service in a moment, but also to develop yourself personally. So for me, university was certainly a very big journey of personal development when I moved away from my hometown. For you guys, you'd be moving to a different country, a different continent even, and so there's a lot of support we have at the university around kind of personal development in terms of your personal tutors, but also we have a lot of faith support, a huge amount of sports facilities and other kind of student societies you can join as well. So our kind of all-round development there of our students. So importantly, just thought it'd be useful to show you the list of courses that we have. So we have a suite of about 20 different master's courses here in the business school, ranging from specialist courses in things like finance or operations management through to general courses around general management, international business, or marketing. The kind of whole point of our suite of courses is no matter what you've done for bachelor's, you should be able to find a course for you. So there are courses there designed for students who have done a BCom, for instance, so the Masters in Business Management. But if, like me, so for instance, I come from a languages background, I studied languages for bachelor's, I could still take our Masters in Marketing, Masters in International Business, Masters in Management, Human Resource Management, as they're actually designed a bit like conversion courses for students like me who have not studied business or a BCom before. So you should technically be able to find a master's course no matter what you have studied for bachelor's. The course in yellow there is our new Masters in Financial Technology. We're launching this new for this year for 2 reasons really. So we know that our students want to study this. We know that employers want students to have these skills. So that there is definitely market demand there, but also we have the expertise here in the school. We have a lot of researching professors in the financial technology area. And we're looking to create what we call hybrid students. So these are students with in-depth knowledge of the kind of financial markets and accounting, the way that works, but also the technology that drives the innovation there as well. So yeah, do have a look at that course. And it's also suitable for students who have a computer science background, so not just students with a financial background, for instance. If you've got anyone in the audience who has any full-time, management experience, we do have our MBA programs as well. This is for students with management experience of 3 to 5 years, so not just work experience, but actual management experience there as well. We do have a part-time MBAs, but we do find that it's a little bit tricky for international students to get a visa to come and study those because of the way they're taught. So yeah, I'd always recommend a full-time MBA to any international students interested. Most of our courses are accredited by relevant kind of industry standard bodies, so there's some recognisable names there, such as CIM, the Chartered Institute of Marketing, CIPD, Chartered Banker, and this is basically, these organisations recognise that what we teach you it qualifies you to succeed in the areas that they represent. And some of the courses you can actually, if you choose certain modules within our masters, you are then actually exempt from some of the professional papers that these organisations offer because we are accredited as well. Alongside your studies as well, you can also take kind of certificates in digital professional skills. So these are run by or accredited by SAP and Microsoft. This is something that we've recently launched and we're developing quite rapidly and quite in a big way. As we know again from research that employers really recognise these qualifications on student CVs. And because we've partnered up with SAP and Microsoft, we do offer heavy discounts on these some of these qualifications. So for instance, there's a couple of the qualifications where usually it'd be maybe £1,000 to take them, but because we are partnered with SAP and Microsoft, the student would only pay £125 for the exam. And we do have staff in the school who can support a lot of these qualifications as well as you take them alongside your studies. But basically it's to enhance your learning and develop your digital skills alongside your programme of study to make you, again, more employable, which is our philosophy, by giving you these skills that you need and the skills that we know employers are looking for. So a little bit now about our postgraduate careers team. So we have a dedicated team here in the business school who just look after our business postgrads, and they are actually a team of highly qualified careers consultants who meet with our students throughout their time here, and of course it's all free for our students to access. Our career support is actually lifelong, so even after you graduate you can still come back and access our careers team for their support and knowledge. In fact, I was talking to the manager of the team a little while ago, and she just had a meeting with a student who graduated 10 years ago. So actually this really is lifelong careers support. So we offer many different things that you can do alongside your studies. So skills and professional development workshops, psychometric tests. These are quite often used by some of the very large employers to help you get used to them, but also to see what kind of a student you are. So look at your strengths, your weaknesses, and then you can take part in workshops to develop those further. Many career exclusive careers events and networking opportunities throughout the year. We are actually ranked in the world top 70 for targeted graduate employment, which means that if an employer sees you have a Nottingham degree, they really recognise this as a high quality degree, and you have the knowledge and skills, as I say, to succeed in the world of work. We offer, of course, one-to-one guidance. No matter what you want to do, you might want to go back to India, or you might want to stay here, which many Indian students are doing, to take advantage of the new post-study work visa, the 2-year stay back. And we actually work with a local team of legal experts in a local law firm to give talks to students on kind of understanding the latest regulations in working here in the UK. So yeah, a huge amount of support towards careers and employability. Some good statistics to back this up, back the things that I've been saying. So pretty much almost 90% of our business postgraduates secured work or further study within 15 months of graduation. Our average salary was about £41,000, so way above the university average. So about 41 lakhs was our average starting salary for our graduates. And of course, you join a network of almost 20,000 business school alumni around the world, which we encourage you to get involved with. Some very recognisable names there on the right, where recent employers for students and recent careers destinations or functions, if you like, on the left there. Some of our students who returned to India were working for companies such as EY, Accenture, Wipro, HDFC Bank, Citron. So again, some very recognisable names. But like I say, many students do stay on here in the UK. So yeah, just in the last few slides, a little bit about where we are, our home here at Jubilee Campus. So built in about the year 2000, we're about 5-10 minutes away from the main University Park campus. We're known for our innovative architecture, eco-friendly buildings. As you can see, that's the Genogly, the kind of teacup shaped building, that's the Genogly Learning and Resource Centre here on campus, just outside my office. And we are a very diverse campus. So at the whole university, we have students from over 150 different countries, so certainly a very diverse learning environment, but we share Jubilee Campus with computer science, education, and also our Centre for English Language Education as well. So again, some more pictures there. So yeah, very natural surroundings. We are a campus university, but we're no more than 10 or 15 minutes from the city centre. We're still within the city boundaries, so you get the best of both worlds, and as a consequence there are lots of accommodation options for you. So you can choose to stay on the campus, you can stay locally in the area, or maybe some students get an apartment in the city centre as well. Very good bus links to the city, so a lot of accommodation options around that. Last couple of slides now. So we've got, yeah, as I say, a huge amount of kind of personal development supports. We have over 300 student-run clubs and societies, including more than 70 sports clubs. We perform very well in the National University Leagues, the Bucks League. We've been coming kind of second or first over the past few years. And there's pretty much any kind of hobby or sport you can think of, including things like music, dance, chess, fashion, travel, and even Quidditch. Apparently we have a Quidditch team. I don't quite know how they play for any Harry Potter fans, but you can join a Quidditch team here at Nottingham. A little bit more about our city. So lots to kind of see and explore. So very historic buildings, that's our town hall there. Many parks and gardens, restaurants, shopping, nightlife, culture. Very good. Like I say, we have a huge student population here in Nottingham, so it's a very young, kind of vibrant city to live and study in. Last part of the presentation, just talk about our scholarships. Obviously, funding is a huge part of your decision making when it comes to choosing a university. So for this year, we have for Indian students up to £11,000 scholarships. So we are offering scholarships to £7,000, £9,000 or £11,000. These are based on your GPA that you have at bachelor's and the university that you studied at. So there are a huge amount of scholarship opportunities, as I say, for Indian students coming to study business and management here at Nottingham. The good thing about the business school scholarships is that we actually automatically assess you when you receive an offer. So me and my team will receive a huge database of all the new students who receive an offer, and we go through and look at the ones with the top GPAs and then automatically offer these scholarships. So in terms of availability, obviously we have a finite amount, so I would encourage you to apply as early as you can to stand the best chance at these scholarships. In addition to this, we also have regional scholarships. So we have something called the South Asia Postgraduate Excellence Award, which is available to students of all subjects, including all of the social sciences at Nottingham. So this is either £4,000 or £8,000 towards your tuition fee. The important thing here is that you can actually combine it with a business school scholarship, and we do get many students each year who come to us with two scholarships combined together, as long as it is not more than 100% of the fee. So business school scholarships you automatically assessed, regional scholarships you then apply for once you receive your offer. So that's kind of the headline of our scholarships there. And that's the end of my presentation. So yeah, please do get in touch with our shared inbox there if you've got any further questions later down the line, or you can connect with us on social media as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dane. I'm just going to quickly take some questions. If the rest of the panel wants to quickly come on video, there are okay. So there are very specific questions around subjects, which I think I'll go into very briefly before moving on to SOAS. I know I know everyone's looking forward to that presentation. There are a lot of questions on PhDs. I've noted that, and I'll come to that at the end of the session, so hold on for those. If anybody wants to just kind of quickly handle a couple of the subjects that we're seeing a lot of interest on, so sociology, in terms of career aspects, requirements to get in, if anybody wants to take that. Michael, can I come to you for that?
I mean, it's not really my area, but I mean, look, I think the thing about the questions about the specific what careers are available are really difficult to answer, because there isn't really a limit on the kind of careers that are open. I mean, clearly you're not going to be perhaps doing the science of developing vaccines, but if you look at the kind of things about anything involved in policy, there are lots of jobs in health, for example, that do ask for sociologists. There are lots of jobs in government, in private business, as well as public sector. So it's really, really hard to answer that question, because there is no clear career path. I think, and this is something I'll explore in my presentation, it's about the skills that you develop and the skills that you will gain from sociology, as well from all the other things that have been talked about here today and will be talked about, really open up a huge array of potential careers. And one of the things you need to do in talking with your academic advisors, talking with your lecturers, talking with your careers office, is speak to them and say, what can I do with this? And then how can I transition from the program that I'm doing into the career that I want? So I'm not trying to deliberately not answer that question. It's impossible given the rate. Go and look at the future careers of go into a sociology department, look where their students have gone, and you'll see just how wide that range is.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, and I think we'll apply that principle to the questions that were asked around economics and philosophy and linguistics and English. There were, I think, some questions around English, and there were obviously a lot of questions on PhD. And the question is, what is that extra edge that you get if you do a PhD in the humanities or social sciences, and where do you go from there? I think we'll come to that in the end. I'm very keen to go on to the next presentations in case we run out of time. So if I may invite SOAS, and then we'll take the final questions after this presentation. So Michael and Amy, you're up.
So hopefully you can all see my screen now. That's all that I've got on my. Great. So hi everyone, look, I'm Mike Jennings, and I'm an academic in the Department of Development Studies at SOAS, which is one of the world's top 5 departments for the study of global development. And I'm going to be talking about development studies, but a lot of what I'm talking about in terms of the skills would apply equally across social science and humanities degrees. Many of you, I'm sure, will have heard of SOAS. We're far more famous outside the UK than we are within it. But for those who haven't, we're a world-leading institution, one of the only, perhaps the only institution in the world that specialises in the study of Asia, Africa, and the Near and Middle East. What that means is that all of our teaching is focused on those regions, and every academic within the institution undertakes research which focuses or is engaged with and partners with one of those regions. So we very much take a non-Western-centric view of understanding social sciences, arts and humanities, and thinking about how they reflect on global challenges. And whilst this is of course obvious to anyone outside of Europe and North America, within many European and North American ways of thinking, that isn't at all obvious, and it's not necessarily done to a significant extent. But embedded in our DNA as an institution is the idea that we need to understand and listen to all global regions, not just the global north. So as I say, we're a very strong department for development studies, or global development. It's called different things in different settings, and all of my colleagues are engaged in academic, policy and practice debates on global development as well as focusing our research on those areas. And I should also say that we also have colleagues who focus on Latin America, so moving us slightly outside of SOAS's traditional geographical focus, but an important region from a global development perspective, of course, nonetheless. So just you can have a really good sense of all the programs that we offer by going to our website. If you click through on the links, you will not only see a description of the program, you will see descriptions of every single module that you might take, as well as all of the option modules that are open to you as part of that program. So you can get a really good sense of what it would be like to study global development in one of our programs. So as this is a careers focused event, that's really what I'm going to be focusing on, thinking about how studying global development for our students transitions into a career. So most of our students across the programs and across all levels are planning to go and work in some capacity in global development or humanitarian or a related field. Many also at postgraduate level also have some significant experience, and they're using our programs then to develop further their skills and understanding as part of the process of developing and furthering their careers in the sector. And our programs are designed to help you become deep thinking, deeply analytical and critical participants in development processes. Now, the first thing to note is that this is not an applied degree like nursing or teacher training, but within the global development sector, many organizations expect their new employees to have some academic background in a related area to global development. So global development studies and humanitarian studies are seen as important qualifications for employers in those sectors because they indicate a core knowledge and an understanding of the issues that you'll be working on as part of your role. So they're designed to help students enter that profession or related sectors through the knowledge and the skills they develop, but they're not, they're also designed to create critical thinking students, those who can challenge ideas and so on. So it isn't just about learning techniques and tools, it's about learning the theories that underpin development policies and practice. It's about learning how to challenge ideas and how to push back against things that may be assumed to be right, but actually may not be when we start to push them and question them a bit further. So in terms of the core skills that our programs provide and which employers are looking for, and again, I think this speaks to those people who are asking about, what can a social science or a humanities degree offer? Because these are kind of core skills that have never been in more demand in facing the global challenges we face. So of course you get a strong interdisciplinary social science training in analysis and critical thinking. So development studies by its very nature is not a single discipline, but brings together multiple disciplines to apply different lenses to look at specific problems. So for example, in our department, we have people like me who have a training as a historian. We have others who are anthropologists, political scientists, geographers, engineer, people coming from all different kinds of disciplinary tradition to work in this interdisciplinary social science discipline. Our students gain a deep understanding of processes of global social change, an understanding of the specific issues and challenges in development and humanitarianism, as well as an understanding of what form they take in different regions, an understanding of the way that our interconnected and globalized world works, and of course an intellectual home and a social and professional network that is really important. It provides support, it provides networking opportunities, and it provides I suppose a home where people can feel comfortable with their academic and professional knowledge. And these are all critical skills for employers across all sectors, not just, of course, in global development. Employers increasingly need people who can think, need people who can do the things that AI is going to find it hard to do. And those are the skills that are developed through social science training. The other thing to bear in mind is that our programs don't tell you what to think. So if you're looking for a degree program that says this is the answer, now off you go, then our programs are really not for you. You need to develop that critical thinking for yourself. So we are helping you develop as critical, independent thinkers, so you can make your own individual contribution to debates and good change as informed contributors, and make challenges based on your own expert knowledge and understanding of the evidence. So our role is to enable you to act as a development practitioner, to understand what kinds of interventions might be most appropriate and why, to understand how you can measure the impact you've had. Did what you were trying to do work or not? And to think about both the intended but also the unintended consequences. To understand what the potential consequences of a particular approach might be and for whom. Different interventions will act differently, of course, on different groups within communities and across communities. And above all, to think, actually, yeah, that's really what we're expecting our students to do, that perhaps underappreciated quality of just being able to think and think well, think self-reflexively about what you and the organisation you're working for are doing, why, and whether it's actually achieving its goals. We're really, really proud of our graduates. We have an amazing and an amazingly diverse set of students. I mean, at SOAS generally, I think we have at least one student from pretty much every country in the world. It's one of the most diverse institutions in the world. And our students, our staff as well as our students, are incredibly diverse. And we're really proud of the things that our graduate students go on to do once they've graduated. So most, not all, and I'll speak a little bit about that as well, but most do go on to work within global development or humanitarianism in some way. To give some examples, so we have former students who have gone on to work for major official donors, like in the UK, what used to be DFID, now the FCDO, JICA in Japan, the Korean International Cooperation Agency, DENIDA in Denmark, and so on. Many of our students go on to work for non-governmental organisations or private voluntary organisations. So we have former students in organisations like World Vision, ActionAid, Oxfam, Save the Children, and hundreds of other NGOs in their own home countries. One of our students, for example, has just been appointed as Executive Director at CARE International. We have graduates who work with international organisations, the international finance institutions like the World Bank, the various UN agencies like UNICEF or UNHCR in dealing with refugees, or with big organisations like the Global Fund or the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And some of our students go on to work in areas that might not be considered global development, but are clearly related. So, for example, we have a student who did the Masters in Violence, Conflict and Development and went on to advise the London Mayor's Office on how to tackle knife crime and has been building a UK-wide role. So using the skills that she learned about violence and conflict at the global level and thinking about how to apply them within a very specific UK context. We have others who've gone on to work for ministries of trade, ministries of finance. Others have gone on to work as journalists. We have many students, of course, who go on to do PhDs or even to work in the private sector. We have students who go on to work in private finance, for example, which for those who know SOAS's reputation, often people find surprising, but actually it's not when you consider the skills that they've developed as part of their programs. So I've recently asked some students just to tell us a little bit about their journeys and what they found, how SOAS contributed to finding them a career. So I'll let you read these rather than go into them in too much data, and as this session is being recorded, you can of course go back. But Rizki Afiak, for example, has done some really amazing work in gender consultancy and advisory work around gender research and advocacy and learning. Another student, Charlotte Hubner, actually showed, someone was asking about what kinds of things you can go on to do with a PhD, and Charlotte's a really good example of someone who didn't go down the academic route, but actually went into the private sector working for Maersk Drilling. And she says that, you know, having that PhD and having that training was really important, because what they wanted was the research and analytical skills that she could then apply to this new industry. And the fact that she could demonstrate that she was good at learning quickly and acquiring new information, and in particular in understanding evidence and data and how to use it. Some other students. So Judy Hoffmeyer completed a Master's in Violence, Conflict and Development and has now gone on to work in conflict resolution, and in particular focusing on disputes around mining in South Africa. Kunal Purohit is an award-winning journalist in India. Some of you may well be aware of him, and he's currently working on a book tracing the rise of the right-wing politics across rural India. And I think what's also interesting about their comments about SOAS is that it's not just about the very specific learning and teaching, but it's about the wider environment in which they're doing that learning and teaching, speaking to other students as well as to academic staff, a kind of a fertile, intellectual, creative environment that allows their learning and their skills to develop. And it's not just about what students can offer employers, it's about what employers think our students can offer them. Employers like our students, they like SOAS students, not just because of the knowledge that they acquire and develop, but because of those analytical and critical skills that they refine and sharpen during their studies. So SOAS development studies, alumni, indeed SOAS alumni generally, are known for their critical thinking. They're known for their ability to challenge orthodoxies and assumptions. They know the right questions to ask, and they know what kinds of data they need to be able to show that whether something is working or not working, and for whom. And another feature of our programs that makes SOAS graduates enormously attractive to employers, and it's part of this distinctiveness of the SOAS approach, is this understanding that we need to look at societies and processes of change and policy through specific contexts. In other words, global development looks different depending on where it's taking place. A water project to bring fresh, clean water in a village may work really well in a small village in South Asia, but not work well somewhere else in a small village in, let's say, Cameroon, not because the technology is any different, but because the context makes a difference. And so as graduates gain an expert knowledge, not just in the discipline, but also in thinking about what that looks in and across different regions. And all of our programs at all levels allow you to take modules outside of that specific department in order to expand your knowledge and bring in new ideas and new ways of looking at things. So the key point that I think I want to emphasize, and I've made this point in an answer earlier, is that there is no single or typical destination for our students. Just as our student body is diverse, the places that they end up and they find their careers in are equally diverse. Our graduates work in the sectors and in the places and the roles where they feel comfortable and where they feel they can make the good social change and the difference they want to make. And our programs can help you to find that role, to find that place, and ensure that you are prepared for the career that you want to make the difference that you want to in the world. Thanks very much. You can see I've put some links up there, and I've also put some links in the chat site, so hopefully you'll be able to see those as well.
Thank you so much, Michael. That was really interesting, and I think the audience was riveted, and we've had a few questions that I want to actually now take to the whole panel if everybody wants to come back on video. I think we're going to take the more general questions because all the specific ones have been answered. There was a question around age limit. I think Dane, if I can, is Dane still around? Yeah, Dane's there. Dane, is there a specific age limit to study masters in the UK?
No, not at all. So it's not at all a factor that we take into consider as part of the application process. Yeah, we get students of all ages coming to study our different programs, both undergrad, postgrad and PhD as well. So yeah, not a factor at all.
Exactly, brilliant, thank you. There are some questions around Our class is still on online mode. I don't think Indian students are terribly keen on online mode. We have students traveling to the UK and they're happy to go and kind of, get the campus experience, especially for a master's when it's just a year. But I'm going to let the universities come in on that very quickly. Strathclyde, what is the mode of delivery right now for you guys?
So Strathclyde, like the rest of the universities in Scotland, is following Scottish Government sort of guidance, and we've got a hybrid model. So we are delivering quite a lot still online, but we are offering value-added face-to-face for things like seminars and tutorials. But a lot of what would have been larger lectures is still currently online. It's something to note in our humanities and social sciences master's programs. We don't tend to use a lot of large lectures. It is more seminars, so there is more scope for that to be face-to-face. But obviously, we're just keeping an eye on current restrictions and easing out of the pandemic yet again.
Yeah, thank you. And these rules keep changing, so I think you need to keep checking how things have moved. And this is obviously for students who will be going earliest this year, autumn. So there's still a while to go. So, how are things over there? Are you online or on campus?
Yeah, so as with Stuart, we have a hybrid model at the moment. Our assumption is that things will probably be back very much to normal by September 2022. It is worth pointing out that that's just our on-campus where we have this hybrid model. We do actually do quite a lot of online programs as well. And although many people here might not be interested in that, people who are working in full-time jobs do really like online programs, and they can work really well. So if anyone here is working full-time and you can't take a year off to come to the country, there are alternative models to how you can study in the UK through these online programs. And I think that also explains why in SOAS, but also I imagine all the universities here, we actually had experience of online teaching before we were forced to do it for the on-campus modules. So the transition wasn't perhaps as hard as it may have been if we hadn't had that experience. So most institutions have been able to keep things pretty participatory, pretty inclusive, even in those online elements.
Thank you, that makes sense. The next question I wanted to talk about was actually, it's quite generally about jobs, and there are two aspects that I'd like the panel to cover. One is the kind of opportunities. I mean, there was a comment in the chat around students who are doing sort of catering jobs. I think there's a confusion around the kind of jobs the students take on while they are studying, as opposed to the kind of jobs they get, or the career progression they make after their course is done. So if anybody wants to just come in and clarify that. And there was also a question around the suitable, I mean, do students in this economic climate, are they still walking away with jobs? And are those the right jobs? And Michael, as you've said, it's a huge range of jobs, but even then, are they kind of valuable, good careers that they're walking away with? Yes, Nicola.
Hi there. Yeah. So to answer the first question, there are a number of jobs that our students will gain experience in and around the various cities that our institutions are based in, and there's a variety of different student jobs there. With some of those jobs, our students are gaining fantastic transferable skills and experience that they could take to professional workplaces. So, being involved in working in customer service, in retail as a student, you're taking fantastic communication skills, ability to think on your feet, deal with pressure, and these are all great skills that you can use in a professional capacity going forward. So, when you join your chosen university, connect with the career services, connect with the student unions, find out about opportunities to work in and around the city and in and around campus to build up your experience. But I would also say, because Michael very kind of eloquently stated, there's so many opportunities open to you, and it's about the transferability of your skills. Engage with career services to find out what options are open to you and what you're most interested in. Because as a student, you might be able to take part in insight days with organisations. That's where you spend a day with them, kind of in person or virtually. There's competitions you can get involved in, projects. There's a whole range of different ways that you can build your experience to help you move in to the path that you want to go down. And all of our universities here today do a lot for our students to equip them with the experience and the skills to help them to be successful in the future.
Yes, Amy, come in.
Yeah, thanks, Nicola, for summarising that. I think that's really useful. Just to add as well, for international students, you can work up to 20 hours a week whilst you're studying. So for many students, they will be getting a job to bring in some extra money. But as Nicola was saying, a lot of these skills, if it is just doing some bar work or catering, there's a lot of transferable skills there. So great opportunities to develop skills, earn some extra money, but there's also, opportunities to get involved in internships as well, maybe some volunteering work as well. So a lot of opportunities available, and it's a really good way of demonstrating your management ability as well. So to manage your studies whilst doing a part-time job, and thinking about the graduate immigration route that we have, so that opportunity to stay in the UK and work for up to 2 years. I think it's really important to think about your profile whilst you're studying and think about ways to develop your CV. So when you do graduate and you are thinking about job opportunities, you've got a good CV, and you've got different skills and experiences that employers will be looking for. So just thinking longer term as well, and thinking about developing your CV.
Absolutely. I hope that kind of clears up all the job career questions. There are just 2 more themes I want to explore. I'm aware that we're over time, but thank you to all the panelists for staying on, and thank you for all the students for staying on. Could somebody just kind of come in and talk a little bit about PhDs and postdoctorates? Typically, this is a question that we see a lot in humanities and social sciences. So, Michael, thanks for coming in. If you want to just talk about what it takes to apply for a PhD or a postdoc in a UK institution, and then what happens after.
So like a PhD is really, it's quite different, because obviously there are the academic credentials. So most universities you will need to have a master's degree, probably at merit level or the equivalent, as well as in a relevant discipline. But actually it's the proposal that is most important. And in social sciences and humanities, in most cases, not all, in most cases, it is the responsibility of you as the applicant to come up with your own project. So if you're saying I want to do a PhD, but I don't know what I want to do it in, you're not going to get accepted. And this means that as well as thinking about the institution, you have to think about a potential supervisor. You may really like the institution, but if they have no one who works on what you want to do research on, they're probably not going to make you an offer, not because it's bad research, but because there's no one to supervise it. So with a PhD, I would strongly recommend you look for individuals who work in the area you want to do research on. If you think you would like them as a supervisor, before you apply, send them a draft copy of your proposal, and always send something that tells them what you want to study. Don't just say I want to do a PhD and leave it there. Then they can have that conversation with you. They can tell you at that point whether this is something they may be able to supervise, which will help speed through your application, or whether it's something they can't do, but they might then recommend other colleagues or other institutions. So it's about the personal as well as the institutional, and in much more so than for any other kind of degree program. In terms of postdoc opportunities, there are postdoc opportunities. Some of these will be within the institution, so they may well have a large research project that has space for students. Often, though, it is about students applying for those postdoctoral opportunities. So they might be applying for a funded 1 year, write up your PhD as a book kind of postdoc, or you might be applying to do a new project, which might be 2, 3, 4 years, whatever it happens to be. Those are all conversations that you would have with your supervisor as you're getting towards your final year of your program and you're starting to think about what comes next. Of course, they're incredibly competitive, but getting involved in a research project as a researcher on a large project is one of the main routes into postdocs. And of course, it is also possible, that isn't the only thing that happens. Many people on completing their PhD will go into a teaching and research role as well. But of course, the academic world is becoming seriously competitive, so there are no guarantees. But obviously, if you want to become an academic, then having a PhD is a pretty, in most subjects, is a pretty essential criteria. So it's something, it's your apprenticeship, I guess.
Thanks, Michael. There's an interesting question. How many, or what's the scope of kind of entrepreneurial adventures or ventures after doing a humanities and social sciences? Is that something you see at all? Is that common? Hi, Nicola, come in.
Hi, I've just popped a link in the chat to our Strath Inspire programme at Strathclyde, and we have supported students and graduates from a whole range of different disciplines with regards to kind of setting up their own venture. And also a number of our graduates have gone off to set up their own social enterprise as well. So yeah, lots of information there with regards to alumni who have been through that way, and also our Strathclyde graduates who are pretty established now but are now supporting our students with their own ventures as well. But they're definitely from a variety of different degree backgrounds.
Thank you. Thanks, Nicola. I want to go on to the next question. I'm very sorry. I know we've gone way over, but there are just a couple of things I want to quickly address before we close. We've obviously heard through the session about a huge range of scholarships that are frankly available for Indian students. What do you need to be able to bag one of those scholarships? It's obviously very, very competitive. I'll come to you. I'm going to go to all the universities for this one. So let's start with SOAS.
Thanks. I've just put something in the chat responding to that. But I think the main thing is, look, there are lots of different scholarships. So you need to go to all of them and say, look at their criteria. Some of them are based simply on academic merit. So it'll be a competition. Those with the highest grades will get those scholarships. Others are based on trying to support underrepresented groups or people who might not otherwise be able to study. Yep. So I think you responded very well about why the scholarships for women in STEM rather than other groups, but there are also scholarships from people who come from less wealthy more impoverished backgrounds, or those without traditions of university or higher education. So really, there is no one answer to that. You simply need to go and look about what the exact details are for that particular scholarship. Many university scholarships, are the ones offered by SOAS, for example, will be based on academic merit. And then when you're talking about a PhD, they will also take into account the strength of the proposed research.
Yep, that makes sense. Thanks, Michael. Anything to add to that, Strathclyde and then Nottingham? Great. Okay. Dane, if you want to come in on that, otherwise we move on. Yeah.
Yeah, just briefly. Yeah, so Michael summed that up pretty well. And the main thing is, read the terms and conditions of the different scholarships. So some of them, for instance, one of the ones that we offer in Nottingham called the Developing Solutions Scholarship, one of the criteria is actually that you return to your home country to develop a solution to a problem that you've identified there. So really do read the T's and C's, terms and conditions of the scholarships closely. But equally, there are many opportunities out there, particularly for South Asian students, I would say, in the UK in general. So do have a good look out there for those opportunities.
Thank you. Thanks, Dane. This is going to be the last question, I promise. I know we're over time. This one's around, why should one study a master's in the UK? What's the competitive edge about studying in the UK as opposed to studying in the USA or something, or somewhere else? Does anybody want to maybe just add a couple of points on this? I could kick off as well. Yes, Dave, go on. Yeah.
Yes, first of all, obviously in the UK at master's level, it's usually only 1 year long. So it's actually quite an efficient way or use of your time to get a master's level qualification. Obviously, higher education in the UK is hundreds of years old. We're kind of a world-leading country in the area of higher education. And then, of course, we now have the post-study work visa opportunities where students have up to 2 years of stay back, so 4 times the length of time they used to have. So I think particularly students from your region, from South Asia, are really taking advantage of this. We have a strong kind of history of students from India coming here already, and I think that's only going to grow in the future. Not to mention the B word, but due to kind of Brexit, us leaving the European Union, we do have a labour shortage here in the UK. So actually that works to international students' advantages in some ways, that we are in many industries actively looking for qualified workers to come and work here in the UK. So I would say the conditions are pretty good for employability prospects right now in the UK for international students.
Thank you. Thanks, Dane. I think exactly, shorter course, hence cost effective. You can join the kind of work field earlier. World-renowned institutions, globally recognized degrees. I think these are some of the reasons why you would want to choose a master's degree in the UK. And the subjects that are mentioned here, I think we have some of the best universities in the world currently in the UK offering the best courses there are in these subjects. So do look at all your options. You can visit our Study UK website for that. I'm going to bring this to a close now, acutely aware that we've taken a lot more time than we were meant to, but I hope it was an interesting and very useful discussion for the students. A couple of quick points before I stop. You will everyone who's attended, you're going to receive an email from us with the contact details of the university, so you can pick up any questions, any themes with the panel as you would wish to. I know you have a lot of specific questions on, what happens if I want to study philosophy or sociology or economics or international business studies. You can absolutely email the university representatives and, kind of pick up that conversation and see where you go from there. You will also get a copy of the recording and you can kind of go back and see, if you've missed any notes or something, you can absolutely pick that up as well. Just to quickly mention, though most of you are here for humanities and social sciences, but we do have a STEM and business fair coming up on the 11th and 12th of February. So check out our website for that and see if you want to attend or your friends want to attend. Besides that, I think just to quickly once again tell you about the e-guide on humanities and social sciences that's here on the chat. You will get it on the email, but it's also on our website. So do check out what's in there for that. On that note, thank you to our panel for patiently answering all those questions, for taking us through your presentations, and for telling and for just basically holding our the audience's hand through all of this. It can be intimidating trying to apply to an international destination, but I think you've made it look easy and very, very exciting. So thank you so much for your time today, and thank you to all those who attended. Have a nice day. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.